21 years. That's how long it's been since any team has won the NFC East 2 years in a row. That's over 2 decades of chaos, heartbreak, and constant change. But now something feels different in Philly. The energy is stronger, the roster is deeper, and the hunger unmatched. Could this finally be the year the Eagles break the curse? Let's break it all down, and I promise, what you're about to hear might change how you see this team entirely. With Eagles minicamp officially wrapped up, it's the perfect time to take a fresh, hard look at the 53-man roster. And let me tell you, things are shifting fast. Some players are soaring, turning heads with their performances. Others, they're slipping and might be on their way out. There are some big decisions coming, and the coaches are going to lose sleep over them. One position group that's starting to stand out in a big way: the edge rushers. They're deeper, faster, and more aggressive than people are giving them credit for. I think this group is going to shock a lot of fans and opponents. But here's what has me fired up the most. We might be witnessing history in the making. For 21 straight seasons, no team in the NFC East has won the division back-to-back. Not once. That streak has lived longer than some of the rookies on this team. But now, with a loaded Eagles roster and a fire in their eyes, that record is in serious danger. NFL.com has Philly not only winning the NFC East, but going all the way. 10 of 11 offensive starters are back. Vic Fangio is here to rebuild the defense. Linebacker Zach Bond even said this team feels miles ahead of where they were last year. Sure, the schedule's tough, nobody's denying that. But this team? They've grown. They've learned from the Super Bowl loss. The chemistry is tighter, the mindset is sharper, and the culture stronger than ever. Newcomer Kendall Lamb, who just joined from Miami, said he's never seen anything like it. He talked about how Nick Sirianni changed everything. No one's late, no one's negative. After every practice, players take time to talk about their mental health, their struggles, and lift each other up. That kind of brotherhood, that's how championship teams are built. Now, I want to hear from you. Is this finally the year the Eagles break that 21-year curse? What's the biggest obstacle standing in their way? Rate your confidence from 1 to 10 in the comments, and let's see who's really riding with the birds this season. When a player who's been in the NFL for 11 years and bounced around 5 different teams says this Eagles locker room is special, you better believe it means something. A guy like that, he's seen it all. He's lived through the chaos of dysfunctional teams and the rare unity of winners. And right now, he's telling us this locker room feels different, and guess what? He's not the only one saying it. More and more players are talking about how tight this group is. It's not just football to them, it's family. That kind of connection doesn't just happen by accident. It's a credit to Nick Sirianni and the culture he's built. Say what you want about the guy, but his emotional team-first approach is working. This group is locked in. But with a strong family comes hard decisions. The Eagles have 90 players on the offseason roster, and only 53 spots. That means some fan favorites, some rising names, and maybe even a few surprises won't make the cut. It's ruthless, it's emotional, and it's happening now. So in honor of Howie Roseman turning 50, the man behind this roster magic, I figured it's time for Eagles 53-man roster projection 2.0. Let's start under center. No changes here. Jalen Hurts is your QB1, locked and loaded. Behind him, I'm keeping Tanner McKee and Kyle McCord. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Kyle McCord, he's making noise. Reporters say he's starting every practice hot, with strong throws over the middle and that confident, cool presence you love to see in a young QB. On the flip side, Dorian Thompson-Robinson isn't getting the reps. He's falling behind and fast. Unless something major changes, McCord has that QB3 spot locked down. And speaking of Jalen Hurts, man's been busy off the field too. He just released a children's book called Better Than a Touchdown. It's all about lessons from his journey and teaching kids to believe in themselves. That's leadership. That's character. That's your franchise QB. Now let's talk about the ground game. Running backs and fullbacks. No changes here either. Saquon Barkley, Will Shipley, A.J. Dillon, and fullback Ben Van Sumeren. All signs point to BVS getting more work this year. He's out there during OTAs, taking reps, showing he's ready for a real role. But here's the wild card, A.J. Dillon. Some insiders aren't sold. Bleeding to Green Nation doesn't have him as a lock. And honestly, I get it. Dillon hasn't proven enough yet. But here's my take. Philly is going to run the ball. Hard. Saquon is a beast, but we've seen what happens to backs after seasons like the one he just had. I'm not saying he won't dominate. I hope he does, but we need depth. Real, powerful, dependable depth. That's why I love what I'm seeing from Will Shipley. He's been everywhere in camp, especially in the passing game. I think he's going to have a bigger role than Kenny Gainwell ever had. He's explosive, smart, and reliable. The only thing that might give Dillon the edge: pass protection. If Shipley can't handle blitzes, that could open the door, but right now, I've got him ahead. Your turn. Who should be RB2 behind Saquon? Is Dillon worth a spot, or is Shipley the future? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't hold back. This backfield battle could define the Eagles' offense this season. All right, let's talk wide receivers. And this is where things start to get really tricky. The top three, no debate. They're locked in. A.J. Brown, the most dangerous receiver in football when he's one-on-one. The numbers prove it. Every single advanced stat says the same thing. You leave him in single coverage, he's burning you. Devonta Smith, smooth as silk. Last season, he was the highest-graded receiver in the NFL on crossing routes. He's not just fast, he's smart. He finds space and he makes defenses pay. Jahan Dotson, now here's the one that might surprise some people. He didn't have a huge role last year, but insiders are buzzing. Andrew DeCecco thinks Dotson is going to get a major bump in responsibility. And I fully agree, he's quick, clean in his roots, and can be a dangerous third option. But now, here's where the debate begins. How many wide receivers do you actually keep? Who makes it past the cut when the room is this crowded? Here's my current projection. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Jahan Dotson, Avery Williams, Danny Gray, and Terrace Marshall. Yup, that means cutting Johnny Wilson and Aniyah Smith. And trust me, I know how bold that sounds. In fact, odds say at least one of them probably makes it, especially with Wilson's run-blocking ability. But this is why camp battles exist. And as of right now, they're both just a step behind. Johnny Wilson missed time during OTAs and had some drop issues. Meanwhile, guys like Danny Gray are getting praised by defensive backs. And Terrace Marshall, he got a direct shout-out from QB1 himself. That matters. That means he's catching eyes during practice. And that gives him an edge, especially in June. So yeah, there's still a long way to go, and things can flip fast once training camp hits. But based on what we've seen so far, Gray and Marshall have the momentum. This kind of depth, it's a great problem to have. The Eagles have options, real competitive options, and it's going to push everyone to be better. Now let's shift to the tight end room. I'm keeping 3 guys, same as before: Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra, and Kylen Granson. Let's start with the easy part. Goedert and Calcaterra are locks, no question. Goedert is a top 5 tight end in the league when healthy, and Calcaterra has the athleticism to stretch the field. But the third spot, that one matters more than people think. For me, blocking ability puts Granson ahead. Last year, he was graded as the 9th best blocking tight end in the entire NFL. When you've already got 2 pass catchers, you need someone who can do the dirty work. Open lanes, seal edges, help in protection. That's Granson's game. Now, I've heard the buzz, people asking about Harrison Bryant, and sure, he's got upside, but blocking wins that third spot for me. Still, there's another twist. 4 Eagles tight ends, Goedert, Calcaterra, E.J. Jenkins, and Nick Muse, are all attending tight end university this week. And when you see those names, one stands out: Nick Muse. He's starting to feel like a dark horse. Several beat reporters have said he's making ridiculous catches and looks like a real weapon in the passing game. If there's anyone sneaky who could steal that third TE job, it's him. And it's a big one, I still haven't seen enough from Muse as a blocker. Until that changes, he stays just outside my top 3. Your move, Eagles fans. Do you agree with the 6 receivers I picked? Would you cut Johnny Wilson? And what about tight end? Does Muse deserve more love? Drop your roster picks in the comments right now. Let's build this 53-man squad together. All right, let's get into the trenches. The offensive line, the real heartbeat of this football team. We're keeping 10 big boys. And yes, it's going to hurt leaving some names out. But in Philly, protecting the quarterback is everything. And when you've got a dual-threat QB like Jalen Hurts, you better have backup plans for your backup plans. Let's start with the obvious starters. No surprises here. Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Tyler Steen, and Lane Johnson. These 5 are locked in. They're experienced. They're nasty. They're ready. And in case you were wondering, yes, it looks like Tyler Steen has locked down the right guard spot. Hardly anyone else even took reps there during OTAs. That tells you all you need to know. Now on to the backups. And this is where the real decisions start. Here's who I'm taking: Kenyon Green, swing guard Kendall Lamb, swing tackle Drew Kendall, Backup center Miles Hinton. Rookie tackle Matt Pryor. Versatile depth piece. So let's break it down. Kenyon Green sticks around. Yeah, he's been mostly on the left side during OTAs, but I just don't see the Eagles trading C.J. Gardner-Johnson and then turning around and cutting Green. He's staying. Kendall Lamb? He might be one of the best insurance policies in the league. The guy didn't allow a single sack last year. Not one. He finished with an 83.1 pass blocking grade. 10th best among all tackles. If Lane Johnson ever needs a breather or, God forbid, gets banged up, Lamb steps in and keeps Hurts safe. Matt Pryor versus Trevor Keegan is where it gets tough. As much as I like Keegan's upside, Pryor is getting all the second-team reps behind Steen. That's a big deal. Plus, Keegan tried out a little at center, but even Brett Toth was ahead of him there. So, yeah, for now, I've got Keegan getting cut and Cameron Williams, the rookie. I'm going with the Phantom IR route. Let the Eagles stash him as a long-term project for Coach Stoutland to mold behind the scenes. He's raw, but there's real potential. That wraps up the O-line. We've got size, strength, and plenty of backup juice if injuries hit. Now, let's flip the script. Now, it's Fangio time. Welcome to the defense. We're starting with the edge rushers, and we're going heavy here. I'm keeping 6 of them. Nolan Smith, Jix Hunt, Azeez Ojulari, Josh Uche rookie, Antoine Powell-Ryland, Patrick Johnson. Look, Philly's edge group might be the most slept-on unit in the entire league. Some fans think we need a veteran pass rusher. Some think the depth isn't solid. I strongly disagree. Let me introduce you to Jix Hunt. That guy is just built different. The way he attacks, the way he moves, it's relentless. He plays like every snap is his last. John McMullen even compared him to Brandon Graham. And if you're a Philly fan, you know that's about the highest praise possible. This group has energy. They love football. They play fast and mean. Nolan Smith brings that fire, too. You can feel it in the way he celebrates, the way he pushes guys in drills. This isn't just a group of athletes. It's a wave of heat coming off the edge. And here's the thing. These young guys are sharpening themselves against the best. Against Lane Johnson. You want to learn fast? Go try to beat Lane in practice. Watch the tape, fail, ask questions, fail again, then grow every day. That's what's happening in camp. That's why this group is going to explode. Let's hear it. Do you feel good about this O-line depth? And which edge rusher are you most excited about this season? Is Jix Hunt the next BG? Let me know in the comments, because the trenches are where games are won, and Philly is about to start steamrolling. You know what separates good teams from great ones? It's leadership, it's connection, and it's the willingness to make each other better even when you're fighting for the same spotlight. And right now, the Eagles have that in spades. When Nolan Smith talks about going up against Lane Johnson, you can hear the respect. You can feel the gratitude. Lane doesn't just dominate on the field. He teaches, he shares, and he helps the young guys get better, even if that means showing them how to beat him. Think about that. Most offensive tackles, they're not giving you the secrets. But Lane, he's out there coaching up the very dudes trying to get around him. He's telling Nolan Smith, look at the angle I take. Look at my feet. Here's how to set me up. That's insane. Nolan said it himself. I wouldn't even be half the pass rusher I am without Lane. That's what elite culture looks like. That's what Philly's building. Guys pushing each other every rep, every joint practice, every film session. And it's not just Lane and Nolan. Smitty and Slay have that same energy. They talk at the top of routes. They trade secrets. It's a chess match in every drill. And that's how they all get sharper. Nolan even compared pass rushing to being a wide receiver. I'm running a route tree, he said. I'm giving the tackle a show, but I'm really setting him up to do something else. That's next level thinking from a young guy who's already playing like a vet. So if you still don't believe in these Eagles edge rushers, I don't know what to tell you. They're not just talented, they're obsessed. They're being mentored by all pros and guided by coaches who know how to build monsters in the trenches. And don't sleep on Azeez Ojulari either. Lane Johnson himself said he's the underrated guy to watch this season. And rookie Antoine Powell-Ryland, that speed off the edge is real. He was flashing during OTAs and making life hard for backup tackles. And guess what? We haven't even talked about the interior defensive line yet. Let's fix that. Defensive tackles. Interior D-line. I'm taking 5 guys. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Ojomo, Ty Robinson. Rookie, Thomas Booker. Look, the first 4 feel like locks. Carter is a force. Jordan Davis is a space eater. Ojomo continues to show real growth. And rookie Ty Robinson, he's long, strong, and smart. He fits right in with what Fangio wants to do up front. Now the 5th spot, that's where it gets spicy. Thomas Booker's my pick right now, but don't count out Gabe Hall or Byron Young. Both are turning heads, and one strong training camp could push them past Booker. So this one's still very much in play. Linebackers. For the linebackers, I'm going with 4. Zach Bond, all-pro mindset and fire. The clear leader of this group, John Campbell, rookie, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Smail Mondon, rookie with high upside. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Nakobe Dean. I haven't forgotten about him. Not even close. But with the injury updates we've been hearing, including from Nick Sirianni and Vic Fangio, it sounds like Dean is likely to start the season on the PUP list. That means he won't count against the initial 53, and it gives the Eagles time to let him heal fully. Meanwhile, Campbell might also be a bit behind in his recovery and adjustment. That opens the door wide for Jeremiah Trotter Jr. to start alongside Bond. And fans should be fired up about that. He brings the legacy, the energy, and the IQ. But let me give you a name to circle. Smail Mondon. This kid is an athletic freak. He made waves during OTAs with his movement, his instincts, and his ability to read plays. At the very least, he's going to be a weapon on special teams. But don't be shocked if he's pushing for serious reps by midseason. All right, Eagles Nation, who's your breakout edge rusher this year? Is it Jix Hunt, Ojulari, APR? And what are your thoughts on the linebacker room without Nakobe Dean to start? Drop your takes below. This front seven is ready to explode, and I want to know who you believe in. Rooster Fire. Let's talk special teams, the unit that too many fans overlook, but where real dogs earn their stripes. Just ask Smail Mondon. That's where he got his shot at Georgia. That's where the coaches first saw what he could do. He said it himself. If they could have kept him on kickoff forever, they would have. That's how much fire he brought. And now he's bringing that same hunger to the Eagles. Special teams isn't just filler, it's a launch pad. It's how future starters earn respect. It's where playmakers are born. And I can't wait to see Mondon flying down the field on kickoff this year. He's going to blow some people up. Cornerbacks. Now, let's shift over to the secondary, and we'll start with cornerbacks. One name stands tall, Kelee Ringo. Right now, he's my CB2. No hesitation. The buzz coming out of Philly is real. This guy looks like a starting NFL outside corner. Long arms, great speed, and sticky coverage, especially deep downfield. He was consistently making plays in spring practices, getting his hands on passes, and showing he's ready. Unless something crazy happens, like a surprise trade, Ringo's spot is his to lose. So, here's my 6 cornerbacks. Quinion Mitchell, Cooper, DeJean, Kelee, Ringo, Adoree, Jackson, Rookie, McWilliams, Eli Ricks. Let's talk about Eli Ricks for a second. Right now, he's barely hanging on. He's one of the last names on this roster. If he doesn't turn heads at training camp, and I mean really stand out, he's gone. No room for passengers on this defense. Safeties now onto maybe the most uncertain position group on the entire roster. Safety. Right now, I've only got 3 making the 53. Reed Blankenship, Andrew Mukuba, Sidney Brown. And yeah, that could easily change, especially if the Eagles end up signing Justin Simmons. But for now, this is the group, I will say. Sidney Brown's stock has dropped a little. He's been splitting reps with Mukuba, and even Andre Sam has seen significant first-team work. On top of that, Vic Fangio's even hinted that Cooper DeJean might rotate in at safety during base packages. This unit is far from settled. And to be honest, it's probably the biggest question mark on Fangio's defense. There's talent, but not a lot of proven depth. It could come down to which guys can prove they're trustworthy when it matters most. Special teams, final 3. For the final 3 roster spots, we're going with the special teams trio. Kicker, Jake Elliott, absolute money, no question. Punter, Braden Mann, entering a contract year and booming the ball this offseason. Long snapper, Charlie Huglet. Crazy stat for you. He's just the 3rd full-time long snapper Philly's had since 2006. That kind of consistency? Wild. The 53-man roster is set for now. And that's it. The full 53-man projection. Offense, defense, special teams. We've got depth. We've got dogs. We've got hungry young talent and proven vets. This roster is stacked, but that doesn't mean it's final. Training camp can flip everything. One big performance, one bad injury, one surprise signing. Everything changes. So now it's your turn, Eagles fans. Let me know your full 53-man roster. Who'd you keep? Who got snubbed? Are you all in on Kelee Ringo? And who should start next to Blankenship at safety? Drop your takes in the comments right now. Let's build this roster together because the season's coming fast. Rooster Fire.